Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode on the HermitCraft server. Guys, we are starting off pretty much right where we left off in the last episode here. We are at the house we built last time, but as you can see, a little bit has changed around the base. I did take the cobblestone, and after that episode, I was like, you know what? I don't know why I made it this way. I moved the cobblestone all in one block. We brought some pillars down for the wood to kind of like make it look like they're cobblestone walls instead of a cobblestone foundation. I was trying a little bit of stuff here, trying to make these look good. But overall, I think the appearance just looks so much better like this. I hope you guys agree because, like, man, it was drastically different the way it looked before compared to now. And now it looks pretty okay. Now, it's not finished. I'm not saying this is like the best cobblestone wall that's ever existed. No. Far from that. But just that slight little change, I think, made all the difference. So I have been doing some things around on the server since last episode. We will probably work a little bit on the house today, but not right at this exact second. I want to bring you guys along with me to show you what we've been up to. You can see a beacon over there. Some things happening over there. That's in the land of XB. It's nice seeing things change on the server here. But yeah, as you guys recall, I brought two villagers and we had them just kind of chilling over in this general area. They're not there anymore, and there's a hallway here. Yeah, so here's kind of what happened here. I wanted to get myself unbreaking and mending, right? And I thought that would be easy. We'll just take our villagers and we'll put them over here and we will just make, you know, just a villager breeder, and we'll get a couple of books. It won't be that big of a deal. But then I remembered that in order to trade books, you need emeralds. Yeah, so here's our villager breeder. You toss them some food. The villagers get the hearts. The little babies are born, and then they try and run towards a bed to claim it. They can't. They fall down a hole here. They come over this way. They float up. And yeah, they're young when they first arrive here, but if they've been here for like 20 minutes or longer, they turn into the adults, right? Anyway, so we have a minecart system here. I can press a button, get a minecart dispensed. It will come over, grab one of them, bounce off the wall, come back out, and then it'll go into one of our many villager areas here. Again, this was intended just so I could get mending and unbreaking. We got mending really fast, and then I saw efficiency 5, and I was like, I can't let that one go. And then we got silk touch. It's like, I can't let that one go. And then we got sharpness 5 and looting 3, and then fortune. We were still looking for unbreaking, feather falling, aqua affinity, protection 4, power 5. Still no unbreaking yet. Respiration 3, flame, infinity, depth strider 3. Then we finally, after hours, got unbreaking 3. It took so long for that. I was going to feel really bad, like, if we skipped over Feather Falling 4. That's like one of the most important enchants that you can get in the game. If I would have skipped over this just looking for that Unbreaking 3 and then I wanted this later, yeah, I probably would have kicked myself for doing that. This kind of got quite a bit bigger than I was planning. I initially was just going to do like these 2, maybe 4 villagers for trading for emeralds. So we got potatoes and beetroot. This is... Okay, so I learned something about beetroots that I didn't know before. Beetroot is like one of the worst starters that you can get on these villagers. Beetroot, when you harvest it, you only ever get 1 beetroot. Normally when you harvest like carrots or potatoes, you use fortune, right? So that way you can get a whole bunch of carrots or potatoes. Beetroot, you only ever get 1. You get more seeds, kind of like wheat, but you only ever get 1 beetroot. And this guy wants 15 of those for an emerald. Potatoes, on the other hand, you can fortune when you harvest, and you get like 3 to 7 potatoes, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. It's something like that. So, right, you can do it with like 5, 6, 7 plants for a potato. You need 15 plants for a beetroot. This is the worst. Beetroot and wheat, you don't want that as your starter trades. So after getting this first guy, realizing that, I was like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. So I got one that had carrots. And then this guy had bread, and I was like, okay, I want to trade an emerald for 6 of bread so we can feed the villagers so they can make more babies, right? This guy over here potato and carrots. That's what you want. This guy right here, potato and carrots. That's what you want. Yep, these are things that I think I might have known before, but I completely forgot. And I was like, you know, beetroot sounds pretty cool. Let's grow that. Yeah, it turns out not so good. Okay, so anyway, you trade them this, and then they have a chance of getting pumpkin as their next trade. It doesn't always happen, but you want pumpkin. They are guaranteed to have melon as a trade after that. But yeah, all of our guys here do have pumpkin trade as their second step. We had to remove some villagers because they didn't get this. And then we have melons always, that's guaranteed. So we have a good way of getting a whole bunch of emeralds here, but we needed to get the melons and the pumpkins. So adventure time happened, and we set up an automation here so we can grow. These are the pumpkins. Yeah, we can grow the pumpkins here, and as they grow, it updates the stem. You know, the pumpkin grows and the stem like leans towards the pumpkin or whatever. Yeah, so the observer above it sees that happens, and it sends a redstone signal up into redstone dust up above. And that redstone dust, I think it's either like doing the diagonal power or it's powering the observer itself, which is then powering the pistons. Either way, it sends signal to the pistons that are touching it. On the edges, it'd be 3. In the center, it'd be the 4 touching pistons. And then, yeah, they all depress, squish the pumpkins, and then we have a minecart system down below, which is going around and collecting the drops. Yep, and as it gets it, it comes over here. It drops them off into these hoppers, and then just a little bit of a storage system down here. We got over a large chest of pumpkins, a little bit more than a stack. And then we're going into a second large chest here. How to do something slightly different with the melons, because when you squish a melon, it turns into melon slices. So we have the minecart drop it off into this hopper, which then goes into a crafter, and then we have, yeah, a redstone signal going into a comparator. Okay, so this comparator is looking at that crafter. We have a redstone signal on strength 9 pointed into this. So essentially what that does is when 9 items enter this, it will send a redstone signal to the crafter to craft, like so. Yep, and then the next one enters, and everything's happy again. Yep, so that gets ejected into this chest, and then that goes down into our array of storage. You get far fewer melons than you get pumpkins, just because instead of getting a full melon every time, you're getting part of a melon. So yeah, we have that collecting here as well. So a lot of things have been happening since our last episode. Did a bunch of like little things with the villagers stuff on stream. I wanted to get this done. Getting those enchantments is super important. And then we ended up planting all these crops in here just so we could have trades for the villagers. I wanted wheat. I basically wanted all the different crops. Yeah, so we have the wheat field in here. We have our carrots in here that you can fortune. We have the beetroot, which you can fortune, but it's pointless. And then we have our potatoes over here. And then, of course, we have our melons and our pumpkins. So our armor has been taking a beating. We don't have mending on it. We originally, I guess, okay. I have mending on this piece because we did go to the end and I found this armor in the end completely exactly like this. I haven't changed it at all. So it's just an ultimate chest plate that we found there. But our other pieces of gear do not have mending on it, and we need to solve that. We do have unbreaking on all of them, I do believe. Yeah, so we need mending on all of these guys. And this was kind of what I needed to do. So our mending book is 14 emeralds. It's actually not so bad. I think we will go ahead and grab that, and then we will do a little bit of enchanting together here. You can see I have quite a number of books here, lots of things. In fact, these are all the books that I was trading to our villagers to lock them in. So I should have a mending in here, I think, maybe. Or maybe I already used that mending. I'm not actually sure. So we do need a book, and then we are going to need emeralds. So let's grab that many. We just need 3 mending for right now. Actually, well, we're going to need a 4th one. I have 4 books. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, we're going to need 4 mending books. Let's go ahead and grab this. So mending, 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 mending. Sweet. Okay, so we have 8 emeralds left over, and then we don't really have a way to gain XP here other than trading villagers, so hopefully we have enough to do all of this. So let's take off our pieces of gear and get them mended, or at least get the enchantment on there. So it's only 2. I should get protection for this as well. Okay, I'm just gonna put these on here because this is more important, just so the armor doesn't break. Okay, so we have all of that on here. I can go to the end. There is an ender. We saw that last episode. We can go to that and get this all repaired, which is super cool. I did get mending on my Silk Touch pickaxe, and I did rename these just so I know. That was, yeah, one of those things, walking around with an ender chest, and it's like, oh, okay, am I going to break the ender chest? Am I not? Yeah, I kind of like having my tools named in such a way just so I don't have to guess. It's like, okay, what tool is this? Does this have fortune on it? No, it just says on the title, right? So you just always know. Okay, so we have mending on this, but I did have a pair of wings that I wanted to enchant. We did go to the end, like I said. I actually have 2 pairs. Yeah, this one right here. So we went to the end, we got these wings, but I didn't want to keep using them because we didn't have mending and unbreaking. That was the whole reason why I wanted to get into these villagers. Aside from the armor, we went and grabbed this thing, but I didn't want to use it until we had mending and unbreaking. So do I have an unbreaking in here? I don't think so. Okay, so I have to go and get myself an unbreaking from our villager. I need to figure out all these different books and get those things sorted. I also need another book here, would look like. So my chest, like this whole storage is awful. I need something better than this, guys. This is bad. Okay, I did see sugarcane at the very last second up here. All right, so we got this. We got plenty of sheep. I'm sorry, not sheep. Cow leather here. And there's more books. Very good. Okay. All right. Maybe that's what we're going to work on today is moving the storage over to our house and actually moving into the house. I don't want to be living in this stone area. This is only for our villagers. Unbreaking. Boop. 16 emeralds. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think I'm going to buy any more. I think we're just going to buy the one. I don't want to keep stocking a whole bunch of enchanted books until we get proper storage for all of them. And then we needed to put them on our elytra. So that's 3, 2, and then 6. Awesome. Okay, so now we can finally use our wings. Oh my goodness. We can finally use our wings and not feel super bad about doing it. I did have rockets in here as well. Let's take a look. Woo! Okay. This is the first time I've actually flown at the base. Even though we've had the wings, we used it to get back from the end and just search for a backup elytra, and that was it. So this feels pretty good. This is going to allow us to actually explore the server a little bit. My goodness, XB has been demolishing this mountain over here. And look at it go right before our very eyes. It's still going away. And then it snowed a little bit on it, I guess. How far did he go? Okay, right to here. And he's got so many beacons. At least 2 of them. Yeah, I feel like I haven't really had a chance to explore the server. Trying to just walk around on foot everywhere. Not so good. I was thinking that I was going to get a horse. But we've kind of gone past that stage. This guy's been up here ever since the start of the server. There's also a donkey over here, which I was thinking about settling up just for funsies. But yeah, I guess we don't technically need those now, but we still might get them and maybe set up like a barn or something over here at the house. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But anyway, let's move on. So our nether kind of got changed. I moved our portal up into what's going to be our nether hub. I guess it's technically the nether hub, but it's unfinished at this point. So we now have a 5x5 wide portal, and we're at Y108, I think is what it was. Yeah. So anyway, everybody has started moving their portals up to here. This is currently what our nether hub is looking like. It is very plain. But yeah, it is better than having all of those random pathways everywhere. So that's a plus. Anyway, I gotta try and find my way to the end. Okay, so I wanted to start working on the house just a little bit today. So let's go ahead and look at getting a floor into the first floor, the ground floor, the basement, the foundation level, whatever you want to call this. I want to get a floor in here. Currently we have grass. That's not going to work. We need to get that changed out. I want to get our storage moved over here as well. I'm almost thinking that this right here could be our storage. We could do 2 chests. Right? So like large chest, large chest, large chest. We do like a wall of large chests like that. However, that only gives us 1 block of room here, and that might be a little too close. It'd be really hard to put signs on them and kind of like understand what's going on. I kind of want to use that space, this space, for that. However, we might end up putting it out here. Accidentally looked at an enderman on main island while on the bridge and to ender. Oh no. Yeah, that could have been bad. So yeah, our floor for the main floor of the house is wood planks, oak planks specifically, but our ceiling in here is oak logs, same as the wall. I think we will just continue what we have up here, put the planks down on the bottom floor. I think that probably makes the most sense to me. I don't know how much we need. I'm going to do 4 stacks. I'm going to start digging. We'll get to this, and then we will see where we go from there. Do we do some kind of border around, maybe like stone, maybe stone brick or something to kind of transition from the cobblestone to the wood? Not quite sure. Let's just go ahead and get the main floor in, and then we will figure that out as we go. All right, so we got the floor installed, and then I tried putting this border here like I was talking about to kind of separate the wall from the floor. And while I kind of like it, I don't think it's going to work. I think we're just going to do this where we just have the wood floor all the way up against the wall. And here's why. We have this little 3 wide area back here. And if we take this border and wrap it all the way around the outside of the structure, that leaves us with a singular 1 wide floor down the middle, which is kind of weird for this room, right? It'd be like stone, brick, and then just a little bit of wood right in the center. I think that would be weird. We could make it all stone in there. It's another option, I suppose. We could throw carpeting in there. I don't know. But I kind of feel like, yeah, walling this off and making that kind of like a separate room for something. In this case, it's just got a bed in there. We could turn it into a proper bedroom or something along those lines. Originally, I was thinking we could turn that into a storage room, but I don't think there's enough space in there for storage. So we got to figure out where the storage is going to go. And with that in mind, I kind of don't want to just throw chests in here and have this one large open floor plan. I kind of want to section things off and make it look a little bit more interesting, right? It's pretty boring, just a big rectangular prism in here, right? Same thing for up here. We kind of need to, I mean, this one's a little bit smaller, I think, right? Or is that the same size? It feels smaller. No, it's smaller up here, because we have the balcony. Yeah, so up here we still need to like do some sectioning off a little bit so we can figure out that kind of stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to work on now. Probably make like a proper entryway into the structure. Maybe have a thing where maybe you step up a little bit and kind of come around and then step back down. And then once we get that figured out, we can kind of reevaluate the space that we have and what we can do to like wall things off and position chests and so on and so forth. So that's where we're at now. All right, so I ended up doing some things to the outside of the house, trying to fix these walls. Just added in some extra stuff, new pillar here, more stairs and trap doors to kind of match what we already have going on. Made like a little table so we could put a lamp on it. Added in some of these fence posts here. Added in another lamp over on this one so they're not the same. Changed the front door. I matched the front door to the one that we had up here. Yep. It was looking a little bit weird before. Now it looks better. We got some lighting out here as well. Added in a window. Put a little thing here. We could sit like a potted plant or something on there. I don't actually have a potted plant. And I guess I could also just put a lantern there, similar to what we have on the other side, but I didn't want to repeat. Put some more lamps up here as well. Let's see what, I keep falling down. This terrain is pretty bad. We got lamp up there, another lamp here, added in some more of our fence posts, just trying to like change things up a little bit. More lamps, added more windows on this side. framed in these little sections. I think it's looking pretty okay. The backside, still not much going on out here, although there is a window. Let's go into the house now. Let's take a look what we started here. So this is our entryway. We come in, little enclosed area with a 2 wide stair. Nothing too crazy going on. We change elevations. Then we got this room here, which I'm not really sure what we're gonna do with. Probably just put some decorations or something in here a little bit, but just trying to like section off the area. And then we go back down. So that's the extent of what I've done inside. I know it's crazy. But anyway, aside from this, I was trying to figure out what we're going to do with our chests and if we should like wall off a little section here. But if we wall off too much here, then it's going to be hard to get to our stairs. The stairs did change, by the way. Yeah, so we have stairs coming up to this floor. It's almost in the same spot. And then I moved, which we originally had a ladder right there going up. I moved a new staircase over here. So now we have a new staircase coming up to this section. But yeah, so I was trying to figure out like where our storage would go, and it doesn't really feel like we got enough room down here. And then I was looking up on this side, and we got a lot of windows, and we could put up against that wall. But I think we're gonna go with what we did. Was it season 9? Kind of had a house, and then we put storage up in the attic. So that's where we are here once again. I kind of like this. There's not a lot of other stuff that we'd be doing in this space up here, and it just makes sense. And if we need more storage, we can always move this stuff out, throw a few more chests up in there. We got a little bit more room, but this is a lot of chests for like our early game storage. I don't see us needing more than this, and especially if we're adding shulker boxes into the mix. Like we get bulk of something, we just shulker box and stick in that chest, and then we got, 27 times more storage in a large chest, essentially. Anyway, so I like this. It's nice and cozy in here. We got some trap doors. I did put some oak planks up here to lower the ceiling by 1. Yeah, a little 3x3 area. It's feeling nice and cozy. I like it. So this is what we're going to do for our storage. So aside from that, I'm going to be working on figuring out what I want to do for the floor layout in here, trying to like make this look a little bit nicer and, more lived in essentially. We still got to figure out what we're going to do for this second floor as well. So that's something else I'll be taking a look at. But yeah, I think we got our storage figured out. I need to start moving things over, getting that all sorted and that kind of stuff. But overall, I'm pretty happy with our little starter house here. It's coming along quite well. Gonna keep working on it, and then we will see what our next project is next time. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.